Hey, this is Steve Shaw for acrylicpouring.com, and for the last several weeks I have found myself caught up in making poured landscapes. And if you look back on the Acrylic Pouring website, I think there are 6 videos that show the process, but I've still been running down that road and I've been having a lot of fun, and I've gotten to where I'm making some really poured landscapes like this that are really satisfying, that I'm enjoying a lot. But I realized something the other day, that even when you make a poured landscape, they do require a lot more manipulation than most other paintings. So I kind of went back to the source and mixed up some of my favorite colors, and I just wanted to do a good old-fashioned flip cup. And I did, and it was fun. And then I looked at the flip cup, and I just had one of those what-if moments, and I realized just how incredibly easy it is to turn a flip cup poured painting into a landscape painting. So I did one. It really did not take very long. It was a lot of fun, right? Whole lot of fun. And I'm gonna do one of those for you today. And if you ever end up with a bunch of flip cups or paintings that are just poured sitting there, and you want to try something or do a little something different with it, turn it into a landscape. All right, here's how we're gonna do it. All right, so today I am going to be working on a 12 by 16 inch canvas, the same as the one I showed you just a moment ago that looked like this. So I'm kind of using this as my inspiration, but this one will look totally different. I'm going to use just some of my favorite colors that I have laying around, blues and greens and white. Yeah, just kind of whatever I pick up and go for at the time. All my colors have been pre-mixed. I do add a little bit of Floetrol to them, good old Floetrol, and I've also added a little bit of silicone oil, and I prefer the 3-in-1 silicone oil, so that's kind of I usually use. So there's a little bit of that in there, and a little bit of water just to get it to the right consistency. I've taken my 12 by 16 canvas, put some push pins in the back to hold it up off of the surface of my pouring box, my pouring area. And I know from my notes and experience that for a 12 by 16 canvas, I'm gonna need a good 8 ounces of paint. So I'm just gonna start filling up my cup. A layer of white in here. Ooh, some dark blue. Go. Some lighter green. Ooh, it's looking pretty in the cup. I'm gonna go with, I've got a little bit of off-white up here. I've got a little bit of this, I don't even know what you'd call that, coral maybe? Mix that up. White. Getting pretty close here. I don't even know what that is. Let's just see what that is. Oh, that's a pretty blue. And we'll top it off with, ooh, I didn't put any of this green in there. This is a nice green. All right. My cup is looking pretty good. That is always a good sign when you can get some really cool colors and some cells popping and happening in there. So now I'm gonna scoot my stuff back. Gonna take my cup full of paint, flip over my canvas. And so many people think you have to do some really quick, fast flip. You don't. Just feel where the edge of your cup is. Put one hand on the bottom, nice and slow, just flip it over. And pressure is just gonna keep that paint in there. All right, and here we go. This is this place, the point, the time where universes are born. Oh, that's pretty. Guys, as much as I do this, and I do all these other types of poured paintings with landscapes and things, it's just always so fun and beautiful. Just look at that right there, just a little world, little universe right there on our canvas. All right, I got cells that are popping out already right in here. I feel like I probably could have used a little bit more paint, but I'm gonna go ahead and start tilting this. Look at this, I love that happening right there. So we're gonna just ease this around. I'm gonna try not to over tilt. Oh, I hate getting rid of those beautiful shapes right there, but all right. Oh yeah, this is definitely gonna be all earthy, big blue marble looking kind of thing. Okay, one more corner to get my coverage. Come on down. Tap, tap, tap. All right. That's pretty right there. I'm going to tap my corners a little bit. A couple of tricks I've heard, sure you've heard me say before. If you have spots on the edges that don't have paint, just pick up some of your droppings. That sounds really weird, but pick up some of the dripped paint and put it on the sides. You can just tap it on there, and that will cover corners or any spots that don't have paint on them. All right. So here's a nice looking pour, flip cup pour. I'm gonna hit it with my torch just to see what pops out of there. All right, getting some more little action in there, but that's really pretty. Now here's what I'm gonna do though, and this was the secret with the thing that I just that popped into my head. I'm gonna do a swipe on this. And oh, do I want to add any little color at first? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of green on the edge down here, and we'll swipe it across here. This will end up being our sky, and this will be land or possibly water. But yeah, let's just see what happens with that. I'm going to use my favorite swiping tool, which is some water and a paper towel. I'll pull those apart. If you haven't done this before, do it. It's so easy and it's so inexpensive. And the thing I like the most, when I'm trying to use a tool to drag across my painting, more often than not, I end up pressing too hard or too light and digging in too deep. And a dampened paper towel is just really nice. It just seems to have just the right amount of weight. All right, I'm gonna put my paper towel to the side. I'm gonna add, oh, you know what? Do I have any? No, I'm good. I'm gonna go with this lighter green here. I might add just a little kind of swoozles through here, and maybe for a little bit of contrast I have a darker green here. Let's see what that does. Okay, I'm gonna try not to divide this right down the middle. You may have heard me talk in some of my other videos about the rule of thirds. Try not to divide a canvas right down the middle. Push it to 2/3 down, so you have like mostly sky and lower land, or 2/3 up, where you have 2/3 of it being land and 1/3 being sky. It just, your brain, most people's brains seem to enjoy that a little bit more. And it's, if you go right down the middle, sometimes you'll see it kind of almost like a painting up top and a painting at the bottom. You can go online and read a lot more about the rule of thirds, but it's just a nice little trick to have. I'm gonna pull this green back a little bit. And gonna lay my paper towel on there. I'm just gonna pull. No rush. No hurry. Nice. All right, now, I don't know if you can see it or not from up there, but I do have a little clump, a little chunk in there. I used to freak out when that happened. Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? It is not a big deal at all. This whole painting is so fluid and so much is going on. You just reach in there and you pick it up. Gosh, look at these nice striated lines going through here. I'm gonna hit this with my torch, and it's definitely going to do some cool stuff, I can already tell. Yeah. Ready. Okay, now, I am tempted to tilt that some more, but I'm gonna leave it the heck alone for now. Now, this is kind of cool trick I did. What I did here, the original one that I showed you, it was in a similar state of this right now, and I just took some black paint and put a nice thick black line, and then I actually used a fork, I think, to pull that up to kind of create the illusion or the idea of trees. So I'm going to try that again right now. I have some little bit of black mixed up. It's not much. I hope it's enough. If not, I'll switch to some of that dark green. And again, I'm not overthinking this. I just want to come across here, hopefully, put a nice heavy line of black. And you know what I'm going to do? Since I did have enough in there, I've got this darker green. I'm going to do the same thing with some green on top of this, maybe towards the upper half of that black line. And that might give a little bit more of the illusion of trees coming out of a shadowy area. All right, so that's what we have so far. I think you can get a good view of that right there. Okay, so let's manipulate a little bit, play with this a little bit. I'm going to grab a fork, and I'm simply going to start pulling up. Okay, I did just slop a little bit up there, which I wish I hadn't done, but I can take that off in a moment. Sometimes it's good to wipe off whatever it is you're scratching with in between. I am going to go, I keep Q-tips around now for taking some of these things out. So I'm going to pull, kind of roll and lift, wipe it off, roll and lift, wipe it off. And I should be able to get rid of, if not all, most of that green that I just slopped in there just from being in too big of a hurry. All right. Now I can take, look at that right in there. That is so pretty. All right. Gonna just rake this up a little bit more. I'm also slopping down here again. I got to be careful here. All right, this I just found this really kind of freeing and kind of fun before, where I just started playing with it. Like, I know trees aren't going to be that tall, but I just wanted to relax a little bit. Let's pull. I'm just going to pull some of these lines down across here. Oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. Then I don't know if that do anything if I'm just kind of angling down with this. Just kind of playing. Oh yeah, they're getting taller. Ow. Yep. I'm just kind of angling down these lines to get, again, all we're trying to do is get the illusion, the idea that there's some big old trees up in here, and people's brains will kind of fill in the rest. Oh, that looked really cool up there. So you could work this for a long time, or you could be done with it pretty quickly. I keep dripping down here. That is all my fault, you guys. When you scrape up, maybe come out the side, I will probably run something across there one more time, but that is, not many things bug me. Those are bugging me right now. Did it again. Okay. That's looking nice over there. So I'm going to try to keep that up. And just anywhere I have a dark green line, I'm just trying to pull, I guess, what would be branches or green coming down from there. Also, meanwhile, look at this killer diller sky that's forming up here in the background. And all of this came from just a regular old flip cup pour. Mixed up my colors, poured it, tilted it to cover the canvas, dragged a swiping tool across it to create a low horizon line. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. I'm kind of bringing some of that sky back down in there to get a little lower spot in between those trees. Okay, cool. I'm going to drag a line across here. See what that does. And I'm not thinking right now. I'm not thinking about shadows or trails or lines or anything. I'm just making marks. Just making marks. Sometimes it'll be successful, sometimes it won't. But it's all about the doing, about the journey, about having fun in your studio. Cool. All right, so this is bugging me. So I am going to do, these are all pretty low. One thing I could try to do is try to kind of scoop them up with a Q-tip. We'll do one or two of them like that just to see if that's gonna work and leave me feeling okay about it. If not, I'll do another swipe across there, which I'm already thinking I'm gonna do. And just leaving these darker areas in there. Yeah, let's do one more swipe. So I'm gonna load up with that same green in here and add a little bit of, didn't I have a little bit of that dark green? Yeah, I have a little bit of dark green in here. Okay. And a hint of some light blue. Okay. Now, had I not dripped dark green into that pretty area down there, I'd be done right now. Not a big deal, but just so you know, this can be done pretty quickly. Pull back. All right, I'm gonna try to keep it low enough that I'm not messing with those little shadowy lines I put in there. So we're gonna go from about right here. Just pull it, see what happens. Again, when you swipe, you don't have to be in a hurry. Nice. Hit it with a torch. Oh, that's nice. Now I think the thing you have to be careful of right now, part of me really wants to pick this up and tilt, but what's gonna happen to the sky and these trees if I pick it up and tilt right now? Yeah, all of that's gonna get ruined. So I either have to come back in and be happy manipulating this with some lines, like with a fork or oh, I guess I could even maybe take a straw or something and kind of blow in there. But I do not want to start tilting again. That would be a mistake, I think. All right, you guys, that's gonna be it. I will probably come back later and work these trees a little bit more, but I think you got the idea. Do a pour, then do a swipe, add dark black and maybe a line of green, just start ripping and tearing it up with a fork, and we've just turned a flip cup into what's a pretty darn good looking landscape. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please subscribe and consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you like my work, you can see most of my paintings that are for sale at my Etsy store, Art by Steve Shaw, all one word, or just search for Steve Shaw at Etsy, and you'll see my work there. Thanks for watching. Bye.